A very beautiful morning to our listeners. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, everyone. It's time for the program Nigeria Today. It's a news and current affairs program that looks at trending issues. And this morning, we shall be looking at yet another trending issue. I have my co-anchor, Maimuna Muhammad Babangida. And of course, it's going to be a special edition of the program in the sense that we have something very special to celebrate. And of course, we also have a special guest to help in discussing the matter on hand. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations will be the focus of our discussion this morning. The Institute, established in 1963 and of course had also reforms in 1989, where the Institute was given birth to, and since then it has moved from one achievement to another. Over the years, the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations have tried as much as possible to regulate the activities of public relations officers and public relations activities in Nigeria. And despite all the surmounting challenges, the Institute is gradually positioning itself as the main regulator of public relations and, of course, to also bring sanity into the system. And it is in view of this that we shall be discussing one of the activities of the Institute this morning. And to discuss this matter, I have with me Mr. Akin Ajejibe. He's a council member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and of course, he's FNIPR of the Institute. Mr. Akin, you are welcome to the program, Nigeria Today.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I appreciate this audience that you've given to us.
Thank you so much. I think we can't appreciate the Institute more looking at the quantum of progress that have been made despite the challenges that have been there. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Yes, probably for the uninformed, one or two more things about the background, and then we'll move into the nitty-gritty aspect of our discussion.
Well, thank you very much. Talking about background, we've been in existence for 61 years now, and I'm sure that the activities of the institute and profession had actually permeated society, except of course that it's not being practiced the way it should have been, and we didn't have traction across board for it to be that germane and that very vital in the front burner. So we've come this far to now take the stake to say this is where we are, this is who we are, and these are the responsibilities we should deliver. It's been quite a journey of 61 years, and we have come this far. So when it comes to image, perception, and credibility, you'll find that that's basically the fulcrum of society. There is no society that can exist without a correct image and perception and credibility. There is no governance that can take place. So that's where we are, to sanitize, to professionalize, to authenticate, to recognize and register. That's the job we've been doing all of this while. Of course, there have been phases to the existence and practice. Now, in the last 1 year, we've really taken up the ante and taken it to a notch higher to really give it vantage position across board, society, government, private, public. So that's why there's been that. And then, coincidentally, we are 60. So we should really mark it with pomp and pageantry and then take it to the next level. We're already there. So that's, by way of summary, what I can let the public know about.
Yes, we are already there. Recently, there has been a national conference of the Institute at Akure?
Abeokuta.
Abeokuta, yes, yeah. in Abeokuta. And maybe if you can just give us some of the highlight of the activities at the conference.
Well, normally that's conventional to all our activities of at the yearly level. You have to do a conference, you have to do, and the content of conference will have to do with certain topics and issues that are very critical to economy. We're looking at the economy and transformation at Abeokuta. We're looking at the image of government, and we're looking at a whole lot that people really need to do to buy into government and governance. These are some of the things we took to Abeokuta. Of course, then, if you talk about ceremonies and occasions and the rest, the household of that is in the Institute of Public Relations. So we've taken ceremony and packaging to a notch higher to the highest level so far in this country. It's the first time we had a conference for a whole week, and it was content after content and a whole lot to gain. Now we have so many other things coming in, the golf and the rest, and we try to promote local industries that are very key to such areas. And we did all of that in Abeokuta. It was restless, it was breathless, and people really enjoyed the gain. They had value to themselves, to the institute, and to society. So that's what I can give you all that we have had in Abeokuta for just a little while like that. It's a whole lot of things. But it's the first time we're doing it for 1 week, and from that point on, every conference of the NIPR on a national or an annual basis will be for 1 week. So we're going to Uyo next year, and it's going to be a much higher level of performance and showcase.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Akin. Now, moving forward, after the conference and the convention, there has never been a time when the government, and indeed Nigeria, needed the services of the public relation practitioner.
Quite so too.
And of course, looking at some of the situations now and the role that public relations should play in watering the situation in the country now.
Right.
To what extent can the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations come in to ensure that quackery is removed and regulate the industry in such a way that true professionals have taken the mantle of leadership or front burner in terms of delivering services to government, to institutions, to individuals, and so on and so forth?
Well, thanks very much for talking about quackery. It's one of the major things that this institute in the last 1 year or thereabout has been very, very deliberate and intentional about. We have promulgated our decrees and the rules that we're going to guide this, and then we've set up the machinery with the Ministry of Justice and the Attorney General's office and the few stakeholders that have to do with justice and adjudication and the rest. That's already in place. That should start any time. And then what again we have done is to make sure that in terms of practice of the institute itself, we have set up professional hubs, aviation hub, banking hub, civil service hub, and the rest of all of that has been set up so that professionals, whatever you are across these hubs that I've set up, will be able to be professional in their conduct and in their registration. That is already there. It started to work tremendously. Now we also have a youth hub. It's never happened before. So the youths are coming in knowing that professionalization is for you to be recognized and be registered. Very key to all of this is that now NIPR has been categorized into the civil service structure across the nation from the federal level. So you can be in the civil service and maintain and run a profession in public relations until you retire as director. That is possible now. It was never possible before. So if you are in the civil service and there's that for you to climb on and work, then you have no other choice than to be a PR professional, registered and recognized and practicing. So that should take us away from the quackery to a very large extent. And government is beginning to see that if you do not do it the way you have, the way it's supposed to be done, you are likely to run foul of the law, and then you're going to be doing damage control for a lot of time, which you didn't need to do if you had done the right thing, consulted the right people, and let them give you the advice and follow through with you. We have a good network that can deliver across all board in the economy. Even beyond Nigeria, we have been very good. So this should stand us in good stead to be able to take away quackery. The law is there, the practitioners are there, and the enlightenment is gaining ground.
Now, sometimes when you look at even the terrain, sometimes you hold CEOs and even government accountable for appointing public relation officers. Government simply appoint anybody that is in tandem with maybe their intentions, or sometimes out of nepotism. How do you intend to ensure that CEOs, government, as well as individuals' attentions are drawn to ensure that only professionals are so appointed to public relations positions?
Well, the intention is that we already have the laws in place. We are making the publicity. We are doing advocacy. If you look at it, a lot of these advocacy and issues of quackery takes place in the public service. The private sector knows what they need to get. because it's very competitive and the best are the ones they look for. So they get the best people to manage image for them. But the public sector is a little like a discount because government work, I'm sorry, is sometimes nobody's work. It's not nobody's business. So on the pedestal of that, they tend to put people there for patronage and favoritism and the rest of them. But those who know their onions know that you cannot take risks with such very critical and sensitive offices. When they take public relations as a management function, then they know that they have to deliver. They're not just errand boys. There are no errand boys in public relations. They're professionals who know their onions. So if you go to look for them, you get results. That's why some government MDAs perform very well. They are in the limelight. They are good. And some don't. If you look at what Mr. President is doing now, he's asking ministers to come and give their scorecard. Exactly. You will find that PR is in the forefront of doing that, to manage the image, to tell the story correctly, and to advise them in how to go. The Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Malam Mohammed Malagi, is a fellow of the Institute, and he knows his onions. That's why he's been able to get a good team to drive image of government in spite of the issues that they've been having. So more of this should be encouraged by government, and they should just know that this is where to go. They can do patronage across all other things, but PR is the image, and without a good image, you are not there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, you are not there. In case you are just joining us, the program is Nigeria Today, and we are featuring the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations in view of the fact that it is going to be holding an activity very soon. And of course, the resource person this morning is Mr. Akin Agbejuba. Of course, he is also a council member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and you can join us on this discussion through the number 09038808883. You can view us live on our Facebook page on Prestigefm91.7mx. You can equally view us live on our YouTube page on Prestigefm91.7mx. You can send in your text messages there as well. And okay, Mr. Akin, the activities you are going to have, maybe if you can give us a background on what informed the decision to hold that activity.
Well, of course, in the life history of any organization, especially a very critical one like NIPR, you must know and own up and say that, well, we have come of age. They are 60. We became 60 last year, but we were still trying to set up. A new exco was coming in, so we then said, let's market this year when there's been some stability and some visibility across board. The decree that made us a chartered institute of practice was signed by His Excellency President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida on the 1st of June of 1990. And that made us the first institute across the whole world to be chartered. That's no mean feat. So when you are 60, you have to celebrate.
Exactly.
And we thank God, IBB is our own, is our father, is a legend, is a statesman. We have then decided that Mina Niger should be the beginning of that celebration. So the whole NIPR community across Nigeria will be coming here on the 1st to do a road walk to commemorate and symbolize this and to honor him, to say, sir, we thank you for what you've done for us, and we're taking it and running with it. That's about the background. There is a month-long activity of celebrations and a lot of value to be added to professionalism across Nigeria. All states are going to be doing that road walk on the 1st. But the national is coming here because this is IBB's home state, and we have to celebrate him and project him. That's the start of it. After that, we're going to do a tree planting of 60 trees. All states are going to do that one that same day. And then after that, we'll visit IBB, do cake cutting. There will be a cake to be cut at his residence, and a few other things around here. And these are the activities that we intend to do here. Some states will replicate, and across the rest of the month of June, activities are happening in Abuja and the other states. Well, since we're focusing on Niger and the start, I will say let's leave the other activities. There will be award, there will be symposium, there will be colloquium, and a good number of other things that we're going to be doing across the 1 month of June. That's basically the summary, but we're focusing on the 1st of June here. And then Council will be here on the 31st. They will visit some projects of the new Niger agenda. And I'm sure that I want to tell you that the presidency of NIPR is very excited about what Governor Bago is doing, especially in the agriculture. And they want to come and see it and then to celebrate him as well. That's about the synopsis of our package. Right.
Okay, I thank you so much. You have talked about colloquium, and it means that there's going to be paper presentations and probably speeches to be delivered. And on what area are all those will be focusing on that day?
Well, there's a colloquium, and there are 3 publications for this 60th anniversary. They've started bringing papers in. We're going to be focusing on the value that we're adding to life and to society and to governance. It's going to be across board, and we have very, very energetic and professional people who are handling that. There are committees for all of these things, and they've started work. So these are going to be done. It will not be beyond NIPR. We're going to be circling around NIPR and governance and image and perception. It depends on what the contributors to the papers present and what the thought and thinking of the colloquium will project, you know. But of course, it's going to really want to add value to all of that we're doing. Of course, a little bit of celebration because we're 60. And you are not going to be 60 twice.
Yeah, exactly.
So all of that is going to be part of it. We have a dinner, we have an award, and I know that it's been confirmed that the award and dinner will be taking place at the Transcorp on the 27th of June. Before then, there are other activities in Abuja and other places. But they're working on the books and publications now, and the colloquium committee has really gone very advanced in putting it together.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Akin Agbejibe, and of course you can join us on this discussion through the number 09038808883. You can equally drop your messages on our Facebook page on Prestigefm91.7mx. We have the first caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Lentala.
Morning, how are you?
Fine, sir. Good morning, the guests in the studio. This is MD Awal from Talking.
Okay, go ahead, MD.
Mr. Ade, you're highly welcome to
Mr.
the studio.
Akin.
Okay, Mr. Akin, you're highly welcome to the studio.
Thank you, sir.
I congratulate you for the anniversary and wish you all the best in like celebrations. Having said, there is one thing I want to bring to your notice, of public relation in Niger State. You can see most of the public relation that we have in most of our ministries and MDAs in, you understand. Let me start example with Niger State. So I don't know, maybe you are checkmating, you understand, the activities of the PRO, you understand, we're having in most of the organizations or the government agencies in Niger State. Because we're having lapses, you understand. I don't know the kind of criteria you use in issuing the license for all this public relation in Niger State. But having said that, you know, one thing I just want to point out is that we're having lapses in terms of all this PRO, you understand, in terms of letting people about their ministries and agencies. So those most of the PROs that we're having, you understand, they are not doing their functions, honestly. Because you can see there are a lot of scenarios at times to come up, you understand, for you to even see a PRO coming to elect people is a problem in Niger State. So I don't know if the institute is segmenting all these lapses, you understand, of this PRO that we're having in Niger State. That is my take for now.
Okay, thank you so much, MD Awal. I think you've made some little highlight on this. Yes, the issue of...
Yeah, we're non-professionals. Well, I've alluded to it a bit at the first time, but essentially, the people, if you look at the trajectory of how these PROs, so-called, were appointed, they were not professionally appointed, they were not recognized by the institute. So now that they have been appointed, we're now trying to bring them to professionalize. There is no public relations in Nigeria today who does not have a practicing number. If you don't have a number, then you're not recertified, then you're not a professional. So these people were just taken from the media, from the journalism, their friend, and then they become PR because they can write stories. It's not only about writing stories. It's about perception, management of information and communication. They do not have the basic. Even if they have what we can call communication basics, PR is not essentially and altogether public communication. So we're trying to do, now they have realized that you can become a professional public relations person, still doing your information officers in wherever you are. Now you can even become a director of public relations and information before you retire. That wasn't there before, so they were scared. Now it's an open field, everybody can come and be a member and still practice. Again, when they come to register, there are so many things of courses and we keep doing this over time so that we can bring them up to par with what is current, what is trending, what is conventional, and what is the rules. They didn't know. They didn't care about that. I've gone to offices that they introduced me to a public relations person, and we're looking like strangers. He never seen me. I've never seen him. How can a PR person be in this state that we don't know each other? It's not possible. So these are the things we need to deal with, and I'm sure that by the time we make a lot of noise to bring everybody to board, we want to thank the head of service who made it possible that we are chartered. We have the establishment CADA now, so across Nigeria and in Niger State. So they are going to really escalate this to domesticate that establishment clause that we already have gotten. And then once everybody becomes a member, we are now going to do the regulation and do the training and monitor what they do. Sometimes when they have a crisis, they don't know what to do. They don't know who to go to.
Exactly.
But then when they know that we are within a network and umbrella that is caring, that knows the onions, that is recognizable, and a good network that is national, then they will come and say, these are my issues. And we're going to be overseeing their issues to see where they are doing well and when they are not doing well, and what crisis will come and how we intend to manage. That's how we're going to deal with the too many of them who are not on board. We'll bring them on board, we'll certify them, and then they become recognized and more confident and more knowledgeable about what they need to do.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Akin. We have another caller here. Hello, okay, we've missed this one. And, okay, hello? Okay, we've missed him as well. 09038808883 is the number to call in and join us on this discussion. And you can equally send in your text messages on our Facebook page. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Professor Dantola, good morning this morning.
Morning.
Happy Children's Day.
Thank you, same to you too.
I still remember Prince Elijah of the Hardy Photo, calling for good people from Wilmington and Boso. The topic today, when you see this where it comes from, in terms of military era, the public relations officers, their function was very perfectly. Why are we talking today? Today we're in democracy. In democracy, our leaders today, who are doing they are doing the politics today, in the office, in the home ministry today, instead of to continue those old eras, they prefer to engage their popular known as their personal media, their data boys. What are we talking about? We are talking issues that we must upgrade. When we are upgrading, we should go with the people who know the work. What are we talking today? We're talking the public relations office is no more actively working. It's true. They will not use their neck. Call their leg to do the perform in the office. When the sitting government, they are not ready to engage them. This is the time now, our democracy, our people, our leaders, they should go back with their best style, not to be engaging their personal data boys, their media, squad, and crop the other officers to see that what they want. It's not good. So I didn't see their fault. No, they are there to work. The government should engage them. Thank you very much. That's my thought.
Okay, thank you so much. I think one of the major takeaways from his submission is the engagement of what he called data boys to handle the publicity of many of these politicians, sometimes including MDAs. Has NIPR been able to make an inroad into the online public relation practitioners?
Well, of course, we have practitioners who are practicing online. And then the Association of Online Editors and Reporters are part of our allies. A good number of them are registered now and they are members. Well, for those, when you have this kind of situation, there is always a lot more number of people who are not registered or recognized, who are practicing the job. So we're trying to mop up that as much as possible, but essentially the onus rests on the people who are giving these people appointment and recognition and giving them jobs to do. That's where we really have to deal with the issues. Of course, the political class are not homogeneous. everybody goes across to pursue their own preferences, and that's where the problem lies. If they have an homogeneity of thought, then you will know that certain things are no-no, and then you don't do certain things, and you begin to comply and listen to the professionals. As long as that remains, we have to continue to fight that fight to get our presence to be very much felt in that regard, and then to really project those who are doing it very well. We've had issues even with the military when an appointment is made and it wasn't what it should be. We have spoken to them, and they have revealed the day you have issues, you still go back to the doctors to say, well, I've really messed up myself, and the doctors have to continue to clean the mess.
Exactly.
So we have a lot of that to clear, but we're hoping that politicians, we're going to do a lot of stakeholder engagement across that once we stabilize after this anniversary, and then do a lot more training for our young ones who are really avid in this area to practice, and they're enthusiastic to be part of it.
Okay, thank you so much. We have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dantala.
Morning, sir.
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Metumbi.
Who do you say?
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Metumbi.
Oh, okay, Emmanuel, go ahead.
You see, Dantala, what is happening in this country today, except the masses come up to do something better, Nigerians will keep backing and backing and backing without biting. We will remain backing till eternity. Look at small countries like Niger. When they woke up overnight and they said, no, enough is enough. And it was enough. What are we doing in this country? That the politicians, most of them, come out to speak to people with revived voice. But they get to office, what they do is a different thing entirely. And yet Nigeria keep talking every day, keep backing and backing without biting. For us to get to a destination, a better destination for this country, the masses have to deny everything, deny themselves, and face the reality with the government. Tinubu is there for his personal business.
Mr. Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel, listen to me. What has this got to do with what we are discussing now? I think it's better that you just leave, because that is not our focus anyway. And of course, 09038808883 is the number to call in and join us on this discussion. I wouldn't know, Memona Muhammad Babangida, if we have some messages. Okay, let's pick this call again. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Antala.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, I am Comrade Abdulmutalab Danladi Habib, popularly known and called in your days Yayalani.
Okay, oh, Yayalani, go ahead.
Yes, please, may I know if there is disparity between public relation and the ideal journalism? Or is the work interwoven, or there is this disparity between the two? Please, that is what I want to inquire.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Mr. Akin?
Well, when you talk of journalism has its own track records and mode of operation, more or less. You go after a story, you encounter issues, and you report the issues. Now, beyond the reporting of issues, there is the ethical management and all the psychological management of such stories to coming up. It doesn't just start and end to send you a story and then you project it. Some stories are sensitive, they have to be properly managed. And all stories are not conducive and correct to be given to everyone. You now manage who gets this story, when do they get it, or when can they do something about it. So public relations is doing with the publics across governance, across issues, across stakeholdership, and then you present and project their thoughts and take care of their emotions and psychology to be able to be better citizens, to be able to appreciate government or this or product better than they are appreciating it. In other words, you push information across to them. Where journalism would talk about stories that are happening. And in fact, in public relations, we say, if an event happens, it is not reported, then it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So beyond the happening, you go for issues that are not on the front burner of happens or happenstance. You then go to dig the issues about life. that are very infinitesimal and not important, not topical, but at the end of the day, they make a whole sense to the whole knowledge of understanding and perception. That's the perception that we need to do in PR. Some people are, by way of stories they come out, they look very bad. Some people look very good. Sometimes you find that people who the media says are good are not as good. And some of them, the people whom the media say are bad, are not as bad.
Are not bad.
That's where the PR thing is in it. And then that's where we are really.
So it means, what if I get you correctly, and also the listener, PR is about managing images and management of crisis as well.
Of course, a whole lot.
Journalism is just a straitjacket storytelling. Well,
that's what they should. They should present their stories. They should let people know what is happening, and maybe do the investigation around some stories. But then, society is not just one. It's not a whole straitjacket. There are sectors in societies. There are preferences. There are nuances. So you must manage each of these sectors and sentiments properly and professionally, letting them know what they need to know and managing it across with them. Because our knowledge of understanding, our sentiments are different. So when people are very sentimental about an issue, you then play down the sentiments and work on the issues. But journalism would have done its job when they have presented the stories.
Exactly. Okay, thank you so much. We have a message here from Jafar Ibrahim Bindiga. He's saying, good morning. Mr. Akin, thank you for a great job that you are doing. And permit me to wish the children well on this special day. To all the children, may you excel in all your endeavors. Thank you so much, Jafar Ibrahim Bindiga. Muhammad Ibrahim EN is saying, good morning to everybody in the studio. My regards to Mr. Akin. Sani Baban Sani is saying, Assalamu alaikum, good morning to you all. I wish you all the best this morning, and well done for a job that you are doing. Thank you so much. And then Abubakar Yakubu is saying, I am Galadimon Kotonkoro, writing from Tudunwada in Kwantagora. Good morning to Prestige FM station staff. Thank you so much, Abubakar Yakubu. Then we have another caller again. We've missed this one. In view of these activities that you have lined up, you have talked about a visit to IVB's home, tree planting.
Right.
The tree planting in particular, are there strategic places that you intend to plant these trees? Looking at the new Niger agenda, where the government, the machinery of work is still on.
Well, thank you very much about this. I'd like to report that the tree planting aspect of our activity is one that His Excellency Former Governor Mohammed Umar Bago is very excited about. We met him about these programs, and he says, oh, this is a very good idea, and he would want to give all the support. Even if he is able to be in town, he will be part of some of these events. He had then advised that we should plant the trees in a nursery, so that since it's 3-arm zone, when the roads are finally constructed, then they can be transplanted to sides of the road where it's going to really make a lot of sense. He's given that advice, and we're taking the advice. So as far as that goes, that's where what we intend to do. Beyond that one, the tree planting is actually going to take place at the 3-arm zone. We have a place that is being managed by RCE and Hajia Aisha Lemu Foundation. They have been at this effort of planting trees for close to a decade. And when we went there, we saw a lot of trees. They're trying to raise what they call a rural village, urban forest. So that's what we're going to be doing, this tree planting. We're going to do, they have given all the advice professionally to make sure that the trees survive and we get the good species that will be able to go. We're working very assiduously to get that done. And that basically is the significance of this. And then it's going to energize us to continue to do this on a more regular basis and to make sure that these trees survive. And we got very good traction and support to really get this done on the 1st of June.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. We have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Dantala.
Morning, sir.
Please, my question is, I want to know if there is any difference between a public relations officer and press secretary, or they perform the same function.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Akin.
Well, this issue keeps coming. Well, a press secretary is an appointed person to do that work of secretariat across media for that principal or for government. A public relations person is a professional who has gotten trained and is certified and has gotten experience and recognized to do public relations anywhere and across all issues and sectors of economy. Then the issue of the press secretary, which is basic and a sine qua non, I like to say, is that a press secretary must be a recognized and registered professional in public relations. If you are not a public relations person recognized and registered, you have no business being a press secretary to anywhere. Even your local club, you must be a professional. Otherwise, you misrepresent them and you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
That basically is the difference. If you are not professionally recognized and registered, you have no business being a press secretary to whosoever or whatsoever.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Mr. Akin. And our time is gradually inching towards the end, and we still have more of the practitioners. This will also go a long way to eliminate quackery. He's talking on the fee aspects.
Yeah, well, the fee just got adjusted late last year, and then maybe they started to take effect sometime this year, because we found that when you look at across the board of professionals and institutions that are maybe trying to make a mention or a face across Nigeria, the fees that we charge is probably the least as we speak. Again, beyond that, we need people who are professional and are able to pay what is required for what they belong to do. One way around this is that I know that what we've been doing in Niger State, and I'd like to give credit to the present chairman, Alhaji Mahmoud Abdullahi, he's been able to gather a lot of people of interest to come and join us, take the form first, and then begin to process registration. Along the line, they get assistance and help, so it doesn't become your own business alone, because we need members to be part of us so that we can swell the number of professionals. So get in touch with the institute, get the form, fill it, and then let's start talking. There will be assistance along the line, and we could look for waivers and all the considerations when we have presented the form to national, and then I can also present it to council for waivers here and there. We've been doing that and we've been getting it. So get started first, be interested, be sure that you want to be part of this, and you're going to be able to be a good professional.
We settle the case as we go, and that has been the practice all along. Okay, 09038808883 is the number to call in and join us on this discussion. And we are that is celebrating its 60th anniversary. Of course, it was established in 1963, and of course, since then, it has made a lot of...
Morning, sir.
Morning, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. My name is Umar Manta.
Okay, Umar Manta, go ahead.
Yes, I want to welcome the center here. And I want to wish the children happy. I think the profession that you must humble, and if you are a public relations officer, you can be a press secretary, SSG, even you can work in very good place. So I think public relations officer is a profession I myself want to be here. God bless. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Umar Manta, for your contribution. And yes, he has just talked about some of the potentials, some of the openings that one can have as a public relations officer. For a lot of people, they may begin to think, since I have read mass comm, I'm a graduate of mass communication, I can just work anywhere. Could it be that public relations is now coming out to challenge mass communication graduates who are coming out of schools to begin to acquire new qualifications again before they can practice?
Well, for most professionals that I know, you have to go through their professional certification, even if you're a medical officer, you have to go through
Exactly.
the NMA. That's the way it works. But for public relations, the NIPR Institute is not just a regulatory body, is a managing body, is a regulatory body, is a training body. So all of that is what we have to do, because we know that not everybody will have gone to school and taken the requisite professional courses. So we do all of that, and we've been doing that very well and professionally. A mass comm person, well, it's possible when you were in school, you were exposed to some public relations elementary courses, and then which gives you an insight into it. But then you never know what work will come. And public relations is not just about 8 to 5 kind of work. If you're a professional, you're a professional. You can practice because the whole public of Nigeria is at your behest, is at your beck and call. Wherever you have issues, you find issues, you can be involved in it to bring it up, how to manage it within your community, within your society. That the work begins to go. And then you find that across the board, we have a very good body of informed Nigerians who know their publics, who can make communication possible, and who can look for professionals to do the work. Now, that's the way it's going to be. You do not necessarily need to be a professional public relations person. If you want to be a mass comm person, you can practice mass comm without public relations. Exactly. You can be involved in the editorial work, you can be involved in NGO work or community work without really getting engaged with the public as a person who has read mass communication. But if you must engage the public, and you never know when that will come, what harm does it cost to be a professional PR person? Just get enrolled, and then the more the merrier for you.
Yes. Maybe with time you need to also be visiting schools to catch them young there. Many of the students of mass communication appear not to be adequately informed on this critical decision that they need to take even while they are still students. And many of them graduate with flying colors from their universities, only to come out to the world of work and they have been told you have to be professional here and there. Maybe it's because of that gap. They've not been adequately informed about what they should do after graduating from school.
Yeah, I'm glad that you are hammering on this again. We have been having very good traction and collaborations with the institute that are in Niger State. I know for a fact that the Federal Poly BIDA, they have a student, a very critical mass of students who are in mass comm, who have been interfacing and engaging. As a matter of fact, we have student membership in NIPR. While you're a student, you can be a member. That's even the beginning. And then you begin to rise up. I know that IBBU Lapa is also doing very well, and they have a student membership that's formidable, and some of them are already registered. And I think a few other institutions here are already there. So we will continue to intensify this. And maybe if we have more volume and more people, we can begin to do intensify on public relations club in secondary schools, so that we do more enlightenment at the grassroots. It's needful to do. We'll begin to look at how we can really engage this.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Akin Agbejibe. Of course, we appreciate your contribution this morning, and I'm afraid our time is fast spent.
Well, let me just say that let me appreciate the elites who have made this possible. Chief Alec Akinyele of late was the one who was minister when this charter, when this decree was signed, and it worked. Exactly. And then we want to appreciate all the elites in Niger State, our senior members who have been part of our history and part of driving this particular event to make it happen. And I want to also thank the executive EXCO of NIPR Niger, a member. Only yesterday, 2 days ago, we had meetings at this venue, of course, and we'll be doing so well. I want to plead with everybody to join us for the walk on the 1st of June, 7 o'clock at the police, at the post office roundabout, and we're walking to Government House so that from there we'll go. The governor will be on hand to receive us or be part of it. Please, let's come and do it. And I always say that Niger State is the source home of NIPR, since IBB is our father and he signed the decree. We're looking forward to everyone to be part of this and receive our letters and please respond. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Akin Agbejibe. And of course, listeners, this is where we come to the end of the program. I'm afraid our time is fast spent, and we appreciate all those who have made their calls and those who have sent in their text messages, including those who have listened to us. Stephen Jia brought us live on our Facebook page, and Memuna Muhammad Babangida has always been a co-anchor on this program. Ahmed Issa Sakpe has been the DC on duty, and on behalf of all of this, my name is Mohammed Dantila Ali, hoping that you go out there and continue to remain good citizens of Nigeria. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Congratulations, you are still alive. 91.7 FM.